Hi everybody, Ryan Ballengee with Golf News Net back here to tell you about a new set of TaylorMade irons. And these are some beautiful blades. So before you listen on, this is probably not for you. But if you are a player that is a single-digit handicapper and you hit the ball flush a lot, then listen on intently with buying power in hand. So TaylorMade has updated its blade line kind of in the vein of what they saw in the Tour Preferred muscle bags from 2011 and 2014, particularly the 2014 model. And so what they've tried to do with this new blade, the P730, so that will round out the P line, 730, 750, 770, 790, increasing in blade size and forgiveness as the numbers get higher, right? So what they've done with those, they have decided to round this thing off with a blade that, again, takes a lot of what we saw in the Tour Preferred MBs from 2014. So they've kept a lot of things basically the same. Hosel length, sole camber, the radius on the sole, and they've tried to do it in a way where they've improved some aspects of it in big ways. So first, kind of shaping and turf interaction, and then mass properties to make it a little bit more forgiving. So let's talk about the improvement in terms of shaping. So TaylorMade says that they have made the profile overall smaller in the P730. So that means particularly in the 7, 8, 9 iron pitching wedge, in those scoring clubs, they have made the profile smaller in response to tour player feedback. So they wanted something that looked a little bit more compact, that they didn't feel like they were, were swinging something a little bit too big and unwieldy, that maybe they couldn't move the ball, work the ball as much as they would like. They would rather have something a little bit smaller to do that. So they gave them something that looks a little bit smaller overall in terms of profile. They also changed the leading edge a little bit to improve turf interaction, and that is something that is always an issue with blades. You don't get a whole lot of forgiveness in terms of turf relief, either leading edge or trailing edge for that matter. They have done this with the leading edge to make it a little bit easier to get through the ball. That's good news for people who can hit blades but aren't necessarily flushing it like Dustin Johnson or Rory McIlroy every time. And then on the mass property side of things, there are only so many things you can do with a blade, right? I mean, really. But what they decided to do was mill out some of the weight in the middle of these irons, in the back of them. And so that way, they spread out the weight a little bit differently to improve what's called the vertical moment of inertia. So when you do a moment of inertia rating, there's moment of inertia in every single direction, right? But when golf companies tell you about moment of inertia, they're telling you typically about moment of inertia in the horizontal fashion. So whether you hit it on the toe or the heel, you get a little bit of forgiveness. But there is a vertical rating, and it is important. And so that's what they've emphasized at TaylorMade with the P730. So they've emphasized that vertical moment of inertia so that by moving that weight kind of away from the middle and then letting those mass properties take shape at the top and bottom, it has created more forgiveness from the top line to the bottom line of where you hit the ball. So that way, you hit a ball low in the face, you get a little bit more forgiveness. You hit a little too high on the face, you get a little bit of forgiveness, especially if you're hitting high on the face with those longer irons where you're tending to hit it a little bit lower on that face. So with the scoring irons, your 8, 9 pitching wedge in that range, you're trying to hit a little bit higher on the face, so that's okay. But by having those mass properties there to help you out, it helps if you don't hit it exactly where you need to on those shots. Obviously, if you are swinging a blade, you are probably a really good player, and you have no problem making that kind of investment in your game. And that means you are willing to pay a decent price for them. So the TaylorMade P730 irons are available November 1st worldwide. They will come in a forged model, so similar to what Dustin Johnson is playing right now, not what Rory McIlroy and Justin Rose are doing in their milled prototypes. And they'll be available for $1,400 in a 3-through pitching wedge set. For Golf News Net, I'm Ryan Ballengee, and we'll see you next time.